Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Alrighty. Yeah, time to go to work. Hey, what's up, everybody? Who's there? Hey, Animal House. What's up, Justin? Going to work. 1:22 in the afternoon. 88 degrees outside. It's supposed to get in the 90s. Supposed to get in the 90s today. Yep. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. Let's see who else is out here. Just Justin. Yeah, 88 degrees today outside. It's supposed to get in the 90s today. Let's be safe here. Get our seatbelt on. So everybody, welcome to the live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are at. 1:24 here in the afternoon, California time, 88 degrees. Not windy. Yeah, my AC guy came this morning. He's gonna start putting it together. Hopefully by Wednesday, I'll have a brand new AC put in. Just in time, man. We're getting this week. It's gonna be in the 90s already. Ah, can't have that, man. Oh, avocados. He's not here today. But he's usually here. Usually 20 avocados for $5. They're pretty good. So how's everybody this day here on a Monday? Well, it's almost the end of my week. Tomorrow's my Friday, so I'll probably be checking out Iron Dog's going on tonight. I'll be at work checking them out. You know, Iron Dog and Justin from My Animal House. So everybody in the chat, I'll read the chat afterwards when I get to work. Right now, basically, just driving to work. Be on here for about 45 to an hour. It's pretty much the drive. So how's everybody doing today? Everybody check out everybody's channels. You can go on my list of channels that I have. Everybody's channels are in there. Mine aren't hidden. You can go look people's up there. Go into my community tab. I got some channels there that I'm trying to help, get more people there. Go to James Guide. He's a good channel for growing. He's on there too. Keys, Constrictors, My Animal House, Iron Dog, a bunch of other like father, like son, some fishing channels. This guy got a lot of different channels on my list there. I got the fishing channels. I got magnet fishing channels, catfish fishing channels, food channels. Got also reptile channels. A lot of good people. on there. Go check them out, give them a chance, check out the videos. I mean, there's a lot of videos that you might not like, but hey, look for some. I have a bunch of different ones. I got vacation videos, I got tarantula videos, I got jumping spider videos. Also have bugs that I've worked. When I work out, I work pretty much out there in the desert area. So there's a lot of bugs around, tarantulas, spiders. The jumping spider that I have on my videos, I had one first, and then that one passed away. I don't know how old it was, so I don't know what happened to it. It was a tiny one. Then right after that, I think it was not even a week, and I'm at work, so I go and do my patrol, come back, and then all of a sudden, right there at the keyboard, there's this that jumping spider. It's just sitting there on the keyboard, like saying, "Hello, I need help." you know. So basically, I got it. I usually carry like a little container, like a pill bottle with holes in it so they can breathe. Throw it in there until I get it home. Then I put it in that enclosure that I have, and then I've been feeding it, and it's been eating a bunch of worms, and that the worms that he ate, he's been getting bigger, and then I got more videos coming out here, and then also there's gonna be the one where he attacks this one of the mealworms. It started changing, I guess they changed form to a different kind of bug, and it was getting more bigger. It's changing its shape. I guess it becomes a beetle of some sort, and it was crazy looking. And I put it in there, and it went for it. One day I got home from work, and I'm like, I always check on my spider, see how it's doing. And all of a sudden, the spider was on top of that worm, man. It's like, it's on there. It's like, I don't know how long it was on there, man. The top part of its head on here, no matter what company. It's like when I used to go visit my mother-in-law, I wouldn't get a signal inside her house, man. I had to walk outside pretty much. I don't know. I mean, the walls, maybe it's lead walls, like Superman. The X-ray eyes can't get through. But yeah, so the jumping spider, it just appeared all of a sudden. It was there on my keyboard, and I was like, oh man, it was so cute. It's the one in my new videos. I still probably I got some other videos from the other one I might still release, because I had so many videos from the other one, but then it passed away. And then so I'm like, I'm gonna put the video out that it passed away. One day I just found it was just there, and at first I thought, well, maybe it's molting, because spiders do look dead, sometimes when they molt. So I let it go for like 3-4 days, and not even a movement, because usually even when they're molting, they do have some sort of a movement. But no, that one it was like completely dead. So I don't know. It could have died of old age. I mean, if it was a male, see, because females last. I think all like the jumping spiders. I think they're only about 2 years. I think they only last about 2 years if you're lucky. So that one I had it for I'd say probably like 4 or 5 months. But then I don't know how old it was before I got it. So they could have already, because they start off real tiny. In fact, the other day when I was working in another area that I work at, I saw another jumping spider, and it was so cute. I was out there and it was jumping around, but it was like tiny. I mean, the one that I have, it's like half of my fingernail size. So the other one that I saw, if you look at your fingernail and look at the white part of your fingernail, that's about how big that other little jumping spider was. It was just real tiny, but it was also a cute one. It was kind of the color of the one I have, because I had seen I had seen one like about I'd say about 2 months ago. I seen the one the size of the one I have now, and but it wasn't a white. It wasn't like a white color one. It was like a dark, like a brownish, like a dark brownish, even almost like a black one. And it was big. So it might have been a female because usually females are bigger than the males, and the males are usually much leg. They have longer legs. They hold up the female, and I mean I know the tarantulas do that. I think the way they mate jumping spiders. I've seen them on some videos. They kind of like get on the back of the female, and then they kind of like contort their body like underneath, kind of like almost. Have you ever seen also a praying mantises? There's some praying mantises that they start they get on the back of the female because they're the same as black widows. Black widows got the name black widow because they usually eat their mate. After the mate, does his job, they pretty much take him as a meal. Same thing with tarantulas, and it's the same thing with also the praying mantises. The praying mantises are that's another thing I would probably like to probably get maybe. I know they sell those like pods at the like the at the like I think Walmart has them. I think even where the gardening is because people use those praying mantises as bug repellents. Because they pretty much they kill the bugs. They don't kill your plants. They basically jump around in the plant, eat off any bugs that try to go in there and eat the plant. Just like ladybugs. Ladybugs also do the same thing. They eat like any bugs that are around. You know, and the sad thing is I used to see a lot of ladybugs around. Now I hardly see any. Same thing with butterflies. Those yellow butterflies. You'd always see them in the desert. I mean, your windshield and your front grill of your car would always be covered with them. And now, I mean, the planet. I guess people have been destroying all these bugs with all the things they spray. Oh my God, this guy. He's like, yeah, don't even signal. Just get in front of me. Going 65, and he decides he wants to go 50 miles an hour in front of me. And pulling a trailer too. Yeah, some people. They, then they wonder why they crash or cause accidents. You know. And then this I guess I know what it is. It's because they got a military convoy up ahead. That's what's slowing everybody down. Yeah, usually we got military convoys over here in this area. Yeah, see, we got military probably all up ahead of us. So it's going to slow everything down. There's probably like 20 trucks. This person, I guess, hopefully he turns. This guy with the trailer. Uh, there's trucks on both sides. Just gonna stay in this here. Well, so yeah, so yeah, like the praying mantis, they when they mate with the female, it gets on its back and grabs on, and then the female's like moving around all over the place with him on her back, and then she's like, you know, waiting, for him to finish his job, and then all of a sudden she'll flip around, and grab him and start eating him alive. Even sometimes they don't even wait, man. They're still connected, and they're like eating his head completely off. It's like, oh man, poor thing. It's like not a very long life, but yeah, that's a truck there with some sugar beet. You know, if you guys use sugar in your drink, that's what usually the sugar's made out. They have a sugar plant over here. Let's see if I can pass this guy. Yep, military here. Let's see how many more are up ahead. Probably gotta catch up. Yeah. So that's another thing I would probably like. I have another enclosure that my older son, gave me. I haven't even put it together. It's a much bigger enclosure, but I mean, it would be all right for like a praying mantis. But I mean, usually you want to put a praying mantis inside like almost like a net type, a net type of enclosure because it hangs upside down usually. It's always on the top, the praying mantises of the enclosures. So I could probably make something in that enclosure, like some sort of a little canopy or something to hang on the top, so that way it would hang up there. Because it doesn't have the opening on it of the front. It's like so it wouldn't affect it, you know. Yeah, more military. Yeah, they're all there. There's all kinds of supplies. That's where I work at. All these guys they're headed out there because they got up there where it's military and they pretty much practice. I mean, where I work at, I'm inside of a trailer, and the trailer like shakes every time that they shoot off their bombs. Because they're shooting those big giant guns, and then you can just hear it like boom, and then you feel the ground shake. And when I first started working there, I was like, dang, what is that, an earthquake? Because California has earthquakes. Come on, truck, get out of the way, man. You're in the fast lane. You're like going 50. Yeah, finally got out of the way. Yeah, so then they go up there and they practice their shooting. They shoot targets up there, I guess. But it's crazy. You can feel it. I don't know how many. It's probably like maybe 5 miles away from where I'm at. Up in the mountains, way up there. And it's like you hear the boom, boom. So now more military. I guess depends how it's going to get over there. In Ukraine, who knows? I mean, I doubt it if it goes on the ground, but I mean, hey, you never know. I mean, we don't want it. We don't want to be like a nuclear war there. This must be I don't know if there might be the tail end of it, and there's some way up ahead. Probably I'll catch up to them because usually they drive about 55 miles an hour. The military, on here. But yeah, so that's another thing I would like to get maybe is a prey mantis. They're pretty neat, and you feed them, you can feed them crickets and either roaches or crickets, but pretty much crickets. I could get crickets or mealworms, from the pet store here. And get a bunch of them for like about $2. You can get 50 of them. Like for this jumping spider, that's what I did. I got mealworms, and then there's that tarantula that I film also that's out in the wild. That one there, I don't know. It might have. Hopefully you got a male that went over there and took care of his business because it's been like maybe a couple of months when I saw two tarantulas at the same time. It was that female that was always in that hole. and it comes out. Then when it sees me, then it goes back in the hole. Then after a while, it would come out again, and then I never saw that other male. It was in the area, that male. So males, all they do is just go around, walking around looking for a female, and it's amazing how far they walk. I mean, they can walk for months, weeks, along the way, and find, hopefully they don't get attacked by, usually at nighttime, because during the day there's birds. Birds, they'll easily grab a tarantula and it's a meal for them. But I mean, out there, even at nighttime, it could be a meal. Luckily, it's pretty dark where they're at. They're, when I go over there, the headlights, basically that's how I can see the tarantulas up ahead. Then I go with my phone and record it. But the thing is, there's nighthawks, because I've seen them flying around over there. They're not. There's owls too, but there's more nighthawks. And those nighthawks, and especially in the summertime, there's a lot of bugs on the lights where I work at. Man, they're just flying around like boom, 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 eating all those bugs that are flying. They're having a buffet of bugs there, man. They get fed like good there. So then the tarantula, one day, like I had that video where the first time I fed it, I found because those are normal tarantulas that are around there, So I found that black bug, and then I captured it in that thing that I have, So then I took it over there to where the tarantula was, and I put it outside of the hole, And then after a couple of minutes, it came out, and then it grabbed it, and then you can even hear the crunch of the claws when it grabs it. And I mean, the bug was a pretty good meal, because I mean, even when it went into the hole, it almost like it kind of like struggled, because it was kind of big, the bug. The diameter of that hole is only like 3 inches in diameter, and I think the tarantula now it's probably like about 4. I'd say at least 4 inches leg span. From one leg to the other. It's at least 4 inches and a half or more. I mean, it's a pretty big tarantula. And the other one that I saw, it was about the same size also, but it was more leggy. And then on that one, I could see it has kind of like these spurs. That's how they hold the tarantula up when they mate. They get under it and they pick it up, and with those legs they hold it up. And then they inseminate her, and then after, I mean, they can hold it for months. And that's been a couple of months. And then the other day, like about almost 2 weeks ago, I took 4 mealworms to work, in the container, and then I dropped them on the tarantula. I was hoping maybe I would see it, grab them and take them down. But no, they just got, I threw them because he had webbed up the entrance with web. He usually does that, but then it comes out at nighttime, just to keep any prey from going in there, while it's maybe taken, because they probably do sleep. And then I went back later on, and then the bugs were like all wrapped around in the web. Then I went back the next day, and they were gone. But then like a couple days afterwards, the tarantula grabbed like little stones that are around the hole there, and with it webbed it, the hole. So now you can't even see the hole because it's covered. It's like camouflaged. The only reason I know where it's at, because I mean, I have like a little marker there, and I know exactly where the hole is. Nobody else knows where that's at. So animals, they can't find it, because it's like, it just disappears. I mean, you've seen it when it goes into the, in the videos, it walks into the hole and just boom, just goes in. And, it's a pretty deep hole, because I mean, I've videotaped the inside of the hole, and I mean, you can see it is like way down in there, And so yeah, I mean, it's down in there now. Now the thing is, if it is gonna have babies, I mean, I think it's 90 days. I think it depends on certain tarantulas. Some tarantulas 45 days. I mean, I don't know exactly what kind of tarantula it is. It might be one of those blonde, those desert blonde, Arizona blondes, they call them. But I don't know. I don't know how many months that it takes for them to for the eggs to become, little tarantulas. Eggs with legs, as they say, and then they come out once they're good. Then they're gonna come out of the egg. Usually the mother, the tarantula will rip it open with its claws once it sees that there's movement. Because it'll roll it around. I've seen it in videos where people that have look at this guy. Yeah. So then I go, well, that means, let's see, we're in April, May, so probably maybe by May or June, maybe if we get lucky, we're gonna see baby tarantulas, and hopefully I get to film them and videotape them, put them up on my channel, so everybody can see the little tarantulas, coming out of the hole also, and then once that, once that I know that the tarantulas, that the babies are born, the way I'll know is because the tarantula will open its hole up again. It'll remove what it put in there. So once it knows that its babies are alive, and then some babies are gonna feed on other babies, the weak, so they're gonna grow a little bit bigger, and then so they can survive. Basically, it's gonna be survival of the fittest, because I don't know how many they can have, but I know some tarantulas can have 100 babies in one egg. Some can have 60. There's some tarantulas that can have 1,000 babies, because the thing is, where they live, they're not going to survive. Out of the 1,000 tarantulas, you're going to get maybe say 100 survive, and then those have to, you're going to get males and females, and then those need to find other males and females and continue. Basically, tarantulas eat all the bugs. Imagine if there wasn't any tarantulas. Imagine how many bugs, would be around. Especially some that you don't like. Tarantulas attack other invertebrates. Sometimes they get in contact with scorpions or even baby centipedes. And then cockroaches. They eat cockroaches. They eat crickets. How sometimes I'm here. When I was younger, like when I was in my when I was a teenager, I think it was like maybe 12, like 13 years old, and we went to visit somebody, one of my cousins, and then all of a sudden at nighttime, all of a sudden we had like a plague of crickets. There was like thousands and thousands of crickets. All over. It's like a plague. I was like, what the heck? We were little, like, oh shit, I don't want to go. I'm like, I can't stand. When I was little, I couldn't stand bugs. And I was like, it would freak me out. All these crickets flying around, jumping on you. So my dad, what he did, he borrowed a blanket, from my aunt, and then he pretty much carried us, one at a time to the car. We got in the car. Then once we were in the car, then we started driving home, and the whole street was covered. You could imagine the sound, of the tires squishing all these crickets. And then we came home, and all over the street, the same thing. There was crickets everywhere. I don't know. It was just a plague of kind of like those in Spanish they call them chicharras, but in English I forget what the name of them are. It's those bugs that make like a real crazy sound, and basically they hibernate. They hibernate, and their only thing is they come out, like, say every like 5 years or something. And I think this last year they came out. And I can't think of the name right now, but I know in Spanish they're called chicharras, and they're like, I mean, they're like make a really crazy sound. I mean, you can hear them in the trees, and of course, bugs. That's great for the bugs, because they're gonna feast on them, and that's everything in the world, helps out other animals and eats, like bugs, birds eat mosquitoes, frogs eat mosquitoes too, and other things, out in the desert. Everything eats bugs. That way you have less bugs inside your house. I mean, you turn on your light in the house, and man, you see all those bugs on the front porch. I remember one time I said, you know what, it would be. I bought a bug zapper, and I put it outside, hanging right where the door was. By the entrance. I figured, hey, because the light to the entrance right there, But that wasn't a good idea because now more bugs were coming to the door. Yeah, they were getting zapped. Zap. So I'm like, you know what? So then I ended up, like taking it down. I said, forget it. I just wouldn't turn on the light outside. When I would go in, I would just go in without turning on the light, and then close the door, then turn on the light. Because you get flies, or during the day, and then at nighttime you get all the mosquitoes and other moths, that they just go for the light. And so I gave it to my neighbor. She put it further up. She had somewhere to hang it further up, and it was better for her. She hung it by a tree, ran a cord to it. But yeah, I believe hummingbirds, they also eat mosquitoes, I think, and they eat the nectar. Yeah, my son, I think he has some hummingbirds at his house. He had a nest of hummingbirds. Now they're babies. He's been watching them. Those hummingbirds grow. Mom's feeding them. Probably little bugs and worms. But yeah, so then that tarantula, I fed it those 4 worms, and now it closed up. So maybe, because it's not going to molt, because usually a tarantula won't eat when it's that time to molt. Like it's going to change, get bigger. But when it is pregnant with eggs inside of it, and it's going to lay its web down and make an egg sac, with all that. Usually after a big meal. Because it's gonna use a lot of energy, But in a tarantula, after it eats a good big meal, I mean, I know some guys they've talked about that it doesn't eat for months. I mean, this one guy said one of his tarantulas didn't eat for like 18 months. That's crazy. 18 months, and then finally it ate a meal. But yet, you can basically tell because the butt, it gets like pretty big. And then once it gets to the size, where it's not gonna eat. I mean, you can keep feeding a tarantula, but it's just gonna lay it. Especially you gotta be careful when you feed a tarantula or your spider. Like a cricket. Crickets, they're dangerous. Crickets, they'll eat your spider, man. I mean, I remember seeing this video where I think it was this guy from the Philippines. I think he was from the Philippines, and the thing is, or he's from Thailand or something. And he had a bucket. He had a bucket where he kept his crickets. A lot of big, big size crickets. And those crickets, they were inside there. Well, over there in the Philippines and in the Asian country up there, they have these lizards, like they're always on the walls everywhere, like those geckos, and they're always going around inside the house. Well, this lizard, it thought, oh man, I'm gonna have a buffet, so this lizard, it jumps inside where there's hundreds of crickets, that he has. Well, guess what? He became the buffet. I mean, the crickets, they just ate that darn lizard, man. He went over there because he was going to feed his tarantulas. And he's all like, oh, shit. He looks at the lizard and it's dead. I mean, they jumped out. They ate out its eyeballs, and ate up a bunch of its, parts, its face and stuff. I mean, hey, those crickets, they're vicious, man. I mean, you gotta watch them. If you put them inside with your tarantula, and you don't see your tarantula, grab it, and it's in there. You can leave roaches. Roaches won't bother them, but a cricket or like locusts. I see a lot of people hold on, everybody. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm back. Got a phone call from my AC guy. He's headed to the house to start working on my AC and stuff, and start putting all the stuff he's got to put on there. So that's good. Good news. Let's see who's in here. Who's in here? Everybody, who's else is in here? Yeah. So then yeah. So this lizard thought he was gonna make a buffet of all these crickets, and guess what, man? He lost his life, man. It's became lunch for crickets, and that's how vicious they are, man. They'll bite you, man. I know, man. They're not afraid of taking down lizards. I mean, imagine all the crickets jumped on it and said, "You ain't going nowhere." They all just grabbed everyone. Hey, grab a leg and make a wish. So yeah, so you gotta watch it when you feed your animals crickets and or locusts. I know in the UK I see they do crickets and they also use locusts. Those things are pretty big, and yeah, so hopefully maybe as soon as I see, because I check it pretty much every day that I go to work. I go over there. I work out there for 4 days out of the week. So I pretty much check it out. I usually out there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So those days I'll be checking to see if the tarantulas open the hole. If it opened the hole, that's a good sign, because then if it means that now it's gonna let the baby, it's gonna start hunting for food, to feed all its babies, because so when that happens, I'll probably go take some mealworms over there, feed it some more mealworms, or if I find, by then May, it's already gonna be hot. I might not even have to take mealworms, because there's gonna be bugs. There's gonna be bugs out there. There's gonna be all over the ground. There'll be bugs that I can pick up and just drop off over by the tarantula, and then she can feed on it and feed her babies, and we'll have a lot of tarantulas coming. More tarantulas, more to video. Hopefully get to video some baby tarantulas coming out of the hole. That'd be awesome. Seeing all these little babies crawling out, the cycle of life, But I mean, they start off real tiny, the tarantula is so big, but they start off like the size of almost like pretty much like a fingernail also, kind of like the jumping spider. The babies, usually about that size, and then they start molting and start growing. Every time they molt, they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then pretty soon when they get to a certain size, of course they're gonna start eating each other, inside the hole with the mother, of course, and probably the mom will probably eat some of the, when they get to a certain size, you're supposed to remove them, because the mom will probably feed them to a certain size, and then if there's no food, of course, hey, if she's got like say 200 babies in there, and in order for her to survive, and in order for the other babies to survive, she's gonna sacrifice, I mean, I even seen birds. I even seen, I mean, it's so crazy, how people say, oh my God, rats do the same thing. Rats and mice, hey, they take down, they'll eat their babies, because they have to feed, there's no food around. Hey, they'll eat the babies and then they'll have more babies, and then that way they can feed those babies. They're that's the way they are. I mean, I saw one time a video it was like it's like almost like a stork, like the ones that they show for babies, the supposedly, the babies that bring the baby to to the hospital, back in the day, nobody ever talked about how real baby was born. That was taboo, oh no, you don't want to tell anybody, your kids about sex or where babies come from. It was always, oh, the stork brought the baby. They even had little figures, with a stork, with a thing hanging from the bottom of its beak. It's so crazy. The things that, us humans tell our kids, and not tell them the real things in life. It's like, hey, this is where it comes out. You have to tell your kids, once they're old enough, just like with drugs, you got to tell your kids, they say, oh, well, how old? Hey, as soon as they can start walking and as soon as they understand what you're telling them, you need to tell them about not to pick up stuff on the floor. Like when you take them to the park or something, there's addicts out there and they throw needles, they throw, stuff that, they can pick up and poke themselves with, catch a disease or something. You have to watch it, and people, oh, they're too small. No, children are smart. The sooner you teach your children stuff, the sooner the better. It's just like kids that, you have kids that oh, you don't want to talk to them about guns. Yeah, and what happens? The kid, if you have a gun in your house, you need to tell them about guns. Of course, you have to be responsible, lock up your guns, but you still have to tell them that guns are dangerous. That they can kill somebody if you use them the wrong way. How many kids, I've seen it, in the news. Oh, 5-year-old shoots his brother because he found the gun, it wasn't locked up, fully loaded. Boom, shoots his, thinks it's a toy because parents never warned them about it, never talked to them about it. Ends up blowing the brother's head off or something. I mean, come on. That's the thing. People need to tell their children about that. And then so I was looking at this video of the stork. The stork had like 5 babies. I think it was 5 babies or 4. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I saw it. So that this stork, it's feeding. It's going out to get food. And the dad brings food. And the thing is, the other babies are like, because there's one that's like really weak, and he can hardly move, and he's much smaller than the other ones. So the other ones they're taking all the food and they're growing faster. That one's getting all weak and it's like a weakling. Well, you see in the video, man, and this in the wild, they have one of those cameras like like National Geographic shit, and they're filming this. I don't know if it's in a zoo or it's in the wild somewhere, but they're filming it, and the nest, and then the stock starts, he's like poking at the weakling, he's trying to kill it, and this is the mother. This mother gave birth to this thing, and it's poking it and poking it and poking it, and it's like, I mean, the thing is like, it's even like bleeding a little bit, and it's like, keeps poking at it, and even the other brothers and sisters, whoever they are, they're like poking at it too. And then I mean, they don't show the whole thing, I mean, apparently, at the end, of course, the mother finished off and she probably fed off whatever was left of it, to the babies, but that's nature, the same thing with lions. I mean, what did lions do? They have a pride of other type. Other lionesses. There's only usually one lion, maybe a couple, but then there's always the one male lion that's the main guy, and he's the one that produces all the babies. And if any of the other lions, have babies with them, they end up killing those cubs, because they don't want somebody else's blood in the pride, so that's crazy, but that's what happens, but so hopefully we'll see how it goes, we'll see how it goes with these this tarantula that's covered up its hole, man. So it's April, May. So I think sometime in May, because that'll be 60 days. 60 days. I have to look into it and see how many days, for that type of a tarantula to give give birth, and then they grow and then become, as they say, eggs with legs, in the in that hole that she covered up, So we'll see how it goes. I mean it's gonna be great. I think if I get to film that. I've seen it. I've seen it happen in videos with people's enclosures and stuff like that. But the thing is, it's crazy how that could, I might get lucky, to witness the babies being born, and then love to see more tarantulas. Imagine, because now, lately, the last time, I've only seen about two out there. There was that male and then that female. So if it did look like a female, like I said, because she would always come out of the hole, look for food, go back as soon as it would see me, and it wouldn't travel very far from the hole, you know, and then once I gave it some meals, and then that was after that other tarantula was. I haven't seen that other tarantula around, which was a male, so that could be that the dad did in fact. Maybe we're gonna have babies here. Let's see who's in here. Who's in here? Let's see. Yeah, Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan finally made it to my live. All right. Big Chief, Shadow, Live Feedings, Vanessa, Kelly. Hey, Kelly, what's up, man? Welcome to the live stream. Paranormal, what's up? Hey, Fungus Queen, what's up? Hey, Benji. Hey, Squirrel Magnet. What's up, man? Hey, from Maryland. Yeah, here it's 2 in the afternoon. California, man. What's up? Well, thanks everybody for coming in. Don't forget to hit the like button, everybody. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I will go check out your channels. I'm always checking everybody's channels out, and shouting them out, going to their channels, leaving comments, and so thank you everybody for showing up. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are at. God bless everybody. And as my buddy Keys always says, say hello to your mama, because you don't know how long you have her. Give her a call, tell her you love her, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Till next time, bye, everybody. Have a good one.